Hello everyone, in this video I'll be solving Cambridge A-Level Information Technology Paper 4 Practical for May-June 2022. We are going to do task 3 in this paper. Task 1 and task 2 for graphics has already been done and uploaded. You can find the link in the description. So this is task 3. Students at Tavera High School can be awarded merits for good performance or demerits for poor performance in these 5 categories. So the categories are given. All students are members of one of 4 houses. The house names are given here. The merits.csv file contains details of merits and demerits for the months January and February. Open and examine merits.csv and use this to create a spreadsheet as a dashboard to look like this. So let's open merits. This is the merits file. You can find student details are given, house names are given, the points for merits and demerits are shown here, and awarded by, these are the names of the staff members, and date awarded is given. So this file consists of the details for the month of January and February. Now we have to use this data to create a dashboard which looks like this. If you look at this data, you can see the house names are shown here and the merits total. So for each house we have to find the merits total, and same way we have to find demerits total, and based on the staff members we have to find the merits and demerits total, and its corresponding graphs have to be prepared, and the formatting must be given this way. So first let's open a new spreadsheet for this file. I'll copy the data and paste it here. Let's rename this as Jan Feb data. Now in order to create the merits total for each house, I'll use a pivot table. So insert pivot table. So this is the complete table range which we have selected. On a new sheet, give OK. Now let's design the pivot table. You can see the house names are coming as the row and the merits total should be shown here. So just drag the house names to rows and the merits to the sum, to find the sum of merits. Rename this as pivot for merit. Same way for demerits, insert a pivot table. Drag house to rows and demerits to find the sum of demerits. And let's rename this as pivot demerit. Now to find the sum of merits and demerits based on the staff, again the same method, insert a pivot table. Awarded by, this is the staff, so drag awarded by as the row labels, and merits to find the sum of merits, also demerits. So this is the required data, pivot based on the stuff. So all the required data is shown here. Let's create the graph here for each one. Select the data. Insert a bar chart. So you can see the field buttons will be visible. Just remove that. Right click. Hide all field buttons on chart. Chart title must be Merits Awarded. Same way, let's create the chart for demerits. Hide the buttons. Demerits awarded to date is the title. Remove the legend. Next we need to create the graph for this data. So insert a bar chart like this. Remove all the field buttons. If you look at the data, you can see Danister is in the second position, but when we created the pivot chart, Danister is as the first item. So let's move it down. Right click on Danister, you can see move option, move down, so that this will come up same way. And also for the staff, the order is correct. We need the title as merits, demerits awarded by staff to date for this graph. Add the chart title. So this is the required graph. So we have made 3 different pivot tables for the required data. All these can be made on one sheet, but then the formatting like this will be very difficult. So we are going to create the dashboard on another sheet. I'll rename as Jan Feb Merits Demerit. So the data should appear in row 6 here. Let's copy the data from the pivot table for merits. copy the data, and when you are pasting, you have to paste as link, paste link, so that it will change automatically when the original data source changes. So I have pasted the link. You can see the formula. It is the cell B4 from the pivot table. We have to do like this so that the table will be dynamic. Same way we have to paste the demerits details in from row 12. Open pivot table for demerits. Copy the data and you can paste as link. The staff data should be in row 18. Paste as link. Now let's give the labels here, house and merits total. The first column all are left aligned and these columns are center aligned. This is left aligned and all these are center aligned. Now the background of the whole sheet is blue. Select all cells. Show the grid lines for this. All these cells are white color. Merit is green and demerits red color. Now let's copy the charts. The chart from demerit. Now copy the chart from staff. We have to insert the text Tavera High School merit demerit records in first row. Tavera High School. Merit demerit records. Let's merge it, and it must be right aligned. Set all the text as sans serif. Set it as Arial. All text bold. The dashboard heading to 36 point. Dashboard heading 36. The chart headings to 14 point, all other text to 12 point. All text must be 12 point. Chart heading must be 14 point. It's already 14. All this must be 12. Let's change to Arial. Now the background of the chart is a gradient fill from white to yellow. So select the chart, go to format, shape fill, select gradient, go for more gradients, gradient fill, this one, this color I will choose as yellow. for this chart, for these bars, we have to change the color to green. This is the same color as given here. So this is the required format here. Save the workbook as Jan Feb merits followed by your center number and candidate number. So this is what we require. So let's save this file, save as, Jan Feb merits followed by your center number and candidate number. For the next task, update the Jan Feb merits data with the records in the March merits.csv file. Let's open the March merits.csv file. Open March merits file. Copy the data from March merits. Don't select the field names, only the data is required. Now open your Jan Feb data, append the data to the end. Let's rename this sheet as Jan Feb and March. Save the workbook as merits first quarter 2022. So file, save as, merits underscore first quarter followed by your center number and candidate number. Amend the dashboard so that the users may select to view the demerits and merits data for individual months or the total for all months. So we need to show the data in such a way that when we select a button here, the data should change according to the month. Same way the graph should also change, and all the chart titles and these titles must be dynamic, which should change according to the month selected. So for that we need the month field. So let's find out the month field here. So I'll insert a field called month in our main data. I'll use the text function equal to text function. So this is the date value. So date comma the format. So we need the 3-letter format of the month. So I'll give 3 M's in double inverted commas. So this is the formula. So you will get the month here. Let's replicate this. So we have got all the months here. Now let's go to the pivot chart. So this pivot chart was prepared according to the Jan-Feb data. Let us refresh the data for the pivot chart. So click somewhere in the pivot chart, click on pivot table, analyze, and go to change data source. Click on change data source. So now you have to select this table along with month. Let's copy this so that this can be given for other pivot tables too. So you can see the data got updated here. If you check here, here also the data got updated. But here we should give a filter so that when you select the month, the data according to the month will be shown. So let's set the filter now. Just right click somewhere in the pivot table and show field list. Now drag month to filters. So now you can see the month is shown here. When you select January, the data will change accordingly. You can see it changes here also. Now let's change the data source for pivot demerit. Go to pivot table, change data source. Just paste the range which we had copied earlier so that it will select the complete table. Click OK. And we have to apply the filter for demerits also. So drag month to the filters. So when you select the month, the data will change accordingly. Same way for pivot staff, we don't need any filter. We need to just change the data source. So go to pivot table, analyze property, and then go to change data source and just paste the range there. On the chart, we have to show the months field button. So select the chart, go to pivot chart properties, show, we had hidden all, just untick that. Same way, show the field buttons, hide all other buttons. So now you can see when you select any month, accordingly the graph and the data changes here. the data has changed here. Next, we need to make the chart title dynamic and also this text dynamic. To create the dynamic text, let's go to the pivot table. Now for the column title, it must be merits total for and then the month selected. So let's give equal to merits total for, give a space, then ampersand. You have to select this cell where the month is selected here. So now you can see it shows merits total for Feb. Now when I change this for Jan, for all it is automatically changing. Now the chart title is similar. Merits awarded for month and the cell. So equal to merits awarded for the month and this cell selected. For the chart title, just click on the chart title. In the formula bar, give equal, click on this cell. So you can see the chart title changes automatically. You can select January. So it changes to January. Here also it changes. Now same way we have to do this for demerit table. Select the cell B1. And it must be demerits. Now let's copy this and paste the link here. Let's wrap text for this as given in the question. And for the chart title of demerits data, gives equals, in the formula bar equals, go to demerit table and select the cell. So now when you change the data, it changes accordingly. So this is the required layout. So now we have shown the month field. All the titles are dynamic. The chart titles are also automatically displayed. Now we have to make sure the vertical axis for the merits chart must be fixed as 0 to 350. So go to the merits chart, select the axis, right click, format axis. The minimum is 0 and the maximum is 350. Resave your workbook. So this is the end of the task. Thank you for now.